Welcome back, everybody. This is Mohawk Motors. My name is Jason, and we're picking this video up after where we left off on the last video. Yesterday was Sunday. I was making progress on the C-notch, and the C-notch is finished up on this thing. I've got everything torqued down, painted up, bump stops installed, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't have enough weight to be able to really see if my axle is going to drop into the notch like I think it is, but from eyeball measurement and from bouncing it with what weight I have, I think it's dialed in. I think it's right on the money. It's now Monday. I went this morning, ran some errands with my kids, and we picked up paint while we were gone. And they're now taking a nap, so I'm working on this truck again. I gave it a scuff. The guy at the paint store recommended scuffing up the E-coating on the panels. So bought some 600 grit and just did a scuff over everything. Went over it. So now there's no shiny. It's all got that light scuff from the 600 grit. Then I gave it a wipe down with acetone. Now you can see I've got it masked off on both sides. I'm not real worried about underneath. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues down there with overspray. I'm not real worried about up near the tires on the inner fender. If I get a little overspray up there, it's not a big deal. And now that I've got everything masked and I'm happy, I'm gonna give it one more wipe down, make sure I've got all the oils off, everything clean, especially because I just touched it on the other side with my bare hand. So I'm gonna give it one more wipe with some acetone, make sure there's no oil, no grease, no dust, no nothing left on here. And then start spraying some primer. And in case you're wondering what I've got for primer, I don't know much about bodywork, guys. I don't know much about painting, but the guy at the paint shop was super helpful. He recommended this epoxy primer to me. It does have a hardener in it, but he says this should do really well. Especially I told him I want this to look nice. So I'm doing a 2-stage paint and clear coat, a good epoxy primer, and he says that should give me a good result. If I apply it correctly, it should look just like factory. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give it one more wipe and then get geared up with my respirator, and I'll let you guys watch me spray a little primer on this thing. All right, boys and girls, well, I followed the instructions on the can, broke the little hardener capsule in the bottom, shook the poo out of it for about 2.5 minutes, and we're gonna try to get some on here. My Achilles heel with paint is, it seems like I always go too heavy. I always spray too much. So I'm gonna try really hard to stay light and remember that I can do more than one coat to get better coverage so that I don't have runs. So let's do it. There we go. Do the other side. I'm just gonna let it set and then hit it with a second coat and hopefully be good to go for paint.
Eventually.
This is my second coat of clear. There we go. All right. Well, I'm gonna let it set for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna peel my masking, and then we'll let it dry overnight. All right, everybody, I'm calling it for the evening. I've actually been editing video while the paint has set and dried, but I did get my masking off, and I figured I'd give you a shot of it, a look at it here. And man, I'll tell you, I am really happy with how this turned out. It's not perfect. I know that a body person, someone who's had more practice at this than me, could probably do it better. But man, I really think once I get the door back on this thing and the fenders in the bed, like, you won't even be able to tell that I did it unless you're looking for it. And that was the goal. It'll certainly look good enough for the stuff I do, drive around, enjoy my trucks. So no more rust, no more hole. She's solid. And it turned out really well. I think in daily driving, having fun, it'll be great. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. And probably tomorrow I'll come down. Everything should be nice and dry by then, so we can actually get it put back together and looking like a truck again and see kind of the finished product. Well, everybody, next day, snuck down here during kid nap time. And you can see, as you saw, I've got the bed back on, lined up, bolted down, lights connected, fuel fill connected, easy peasy, nothing to it. And I thought to myself, while I have the interior this far apart, I should address something that I didn't address before. I was a little lazy, and now I'm gonna correct it. But the center console that I swapped into this truck was out of an extended cab that had premium sound. So it's got the subwoofer, it's got the ducting, and inside of here is the factory amplifier. And I don't need those. I don't have any plans on using them. They're not doing me any good. They're just weight that I'm schlepping around for no reason. And I honestly may be able to use the amplifier and the sub in another truck, another project that I have planned. So I'm gonna get those parts out of this console and put them on the shelf until I need them. So I'm gonna take this thing apart. I've got a Phillips head, a 7mm, an 8mm, a 10mm, and I'm pretty sure that's all I need to take it apart. You just keep pulling off screws and connectors until you get to what you need to get to. So let's time lapse it. Let's see if I can get this thing done in about the 45 minutes that I have left. Well, that actually only took like 25 minutes. We got the factory subwoofer box. I'm saving that. I think I could be able to use it. Factory sub, factory amp. I have another project coming. I think I'm gonna need those. Oh, and the factory ducting to the rear. I don't know if we'll need that or not. Probably not. But there we go. Console back in the truck. Was able to clean some of the grime out of the inside of it while I was at it. and save a few pounds. I don't think it really matters that much in this truck, but I mean, between the subs, maybe 2 or 3 pounds, amp maybe a pound or 2, box maybe a pound or 2, this maybe a pound or 2, so maybe 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 pounds, 7, 8 pounds. If you're trying to save every pound, it would make a difference, but I'm not super duper worried about it in this truck. And I feel better now knowing it's not in there for no reason. I can use it somewhere else. So, oh, it looks so much better like this than it did all rusty. Very happy with it. I was happy to see too, I lined up pretty good along the bottom of the bed. After thinking about it and realizing my doors weren't perfect how I showed you in the last video, I was worried it would be real noticeable on the bed, but looks good up against the bed too. So successful thus far. I've also got plenty of room, and you can actually see it right through the wheels. Now you can see I got plenty of room for up travel with the C-notch. I'm a little worried my tires might contact the fenders if I hit a big bump, but we're not gonna know until I take it out and drive it a little bit and see what it does. So it is what it is. I think that's it for now. I'm gonna come back down later this evening, and we'll see how much of the front end we can get put back together. All right, everybody, it's later in the evening now. I was able to sneak down here this afternoon and get the doors put back on. I still haven't put the rest of the interior back together. I'm gonna do that after I'm able to. I wanna get the whole front end put back together, and then I'll get after the interior. I wanna give it a really good vacuum, a really good clean, and then I'll put the seats and stuff back in it. But I've got it rolled forward here. I'm gonna get all the front end put back on, the fenders, the bumper, hood, grill, blah, 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 all that stuff. Get this all put back together. And I didn't mess with anything up here, so it should be as easy as just bolt it back together, put it all back where it was, and that's it. So let's time lapse it. Let's see, you guys can watch me put this thing together. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a whole truck again, and I am super happy with the result. Man, I didn't realize how much that rust really irked me, and man, did it irk me. But now, the biggest thing too is I had gotten into the habit of like avoiding this rocker because it was sharp and scratched my leg, and now I don't have to worry about that. You can see it's pretty dirty in here. So next thing I got to do is start working on a detail. It's super dusty and dirty, needs to be vacuumed. So I'm going to give the whole interior a full detail. Probably start on that tomorrow. And then we still got to replace the 4L Slippy. But I have a parts truck here. It's got a blown engine, but it's only got like 111,000 miles on it. So I'm thinking and hoping that the transmission in it is good. I'll get the transmission pulled out of that. Then we'll pull the transmission out of this one. We'll do the old switcheroo and then finish up the detail and have this thing on the road again and better than before. Should ride better with the C-notch in the back and all that axle clearance now for up travel. The interior will be all cleaned up and nice. There'll be no rust to rip my pants or scratch my leg when I'm getting in and out of the truck. So pretty pumped, but it's late. It's like 11:40. I'm calling it for tonight. I'm gonna go up, get some sleep, and we'll get back after it tomorrow evening. All right, folks, how about a lunch break update? Kids are taking a nap. I'm down here. So I just got done washing the 2500 HD. This one's getting a full detail, inside, outside. Gave it a hand wash. I'm gonna get it dried off, and then I'm gonna, this evening, probably wax it, and then give the interior a detailed touch up. I cleaned it up before I took it up to Spring Carlisle, but it's gotten a little dirty from me driving it since then, so I'm gonna give that a full detail and then get pictures taken so it's ready for sale. I've got my transmission donor truck. This is a parts truck. I use the bed. The bed from this truck is actually this one right here on the 2500 HD because it was nice and straight and not rusty. It's a two-wheel drive V6. This one's got, can you see there? This one's got extra holes in the oil pan. So my fingers are crossed that it was a running and driving truck until the engine made an extra hole for the connecting rod. So I've got the fluid draining out of that. Then I'm gonna put the pan back on. Actually, while I have it draining, I'll probably put a new filter and new gasket on it, and then I'll drop it out of the truck. And while I'm doing all that, I needed to get the single cab out of the way. So I just gave it a quick rinse just to try to get all the dust and grime off of it from sitting in the workshop. Get out of here, bug. And just that made a big difference. So this will come back in once I get done with the 2500 HD. So just shuffling stuff around, trying to use the little bit of daylight that I get while my kids are taking a nap, and figured I'd show you. So I'll be back down this evening, probably working on this or getting the transmission out of that. One way or another. I'll see you later on. Ladies and gentlemen, doesn't she shine up nice? It's taken me a little bit longer to get this thing fully cleaned up than I expected. It's about 11 o'clock. I've been down here since, actually I've only been at this since like 9:15, 9:30. So an hour and a half, that's actually not too bad. I had cleaned it up before, so it was really like a touch up. As you saw, fully waxed the outside of it, everywhere, everything. Got shine on the tires, got the wheels all cleaned up and shined up. Interior is all cleaned up, fully detailed, every nook and cranny, guys. This is as clean as I can get this thing, and I'm really happy with it. I mean, it's clean enough to eat off of. So I even took the time and wiped off everything under the hood. So everything under here nice and clean. Also, very happy. Very happy with how this turned out. And for now, that means this project is done. I have been driving it. I've put about 400 miles on this thing, and it's cool to drive. It's fun to drive. It's the first MV4500 truck I've ever had, and I did not realize how low the first gear in these things is. It's a granny gear, just like in the SM465 and the older trucks. So, I mean, even with the bigger tires on it, you start out in second gear most of the time, and then get right up to fifth gear pretty quickly. It cruises arrow straight down the highway. It rides nice. It's quiet inside. I mean, it's as good as, if not better than, a factory truck, brand new. So I'm really happy with it. I feel like this is a good point to end this video. I want to get it edited and get it up on Saturday. And by the time you see this truck will be listed for sale. So hopefully I can find a buyer pretty quickly. If not, I'm going to keep driving it because it's cool to drive. I'm enjoying the truck, and I'm not pressed to sell it. I'm not in a rush to sell it, so I can wait until the right buyer comes, and I can enjoy it until then. That's it, team. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.